Eala's coach just exposed everything, the training blueprint that silenced every skeptic in professional tennis, finally revealed for the world to see. Tennis experts are rendered completely speechless. What they discovered inside her practice facility challenged everything the sport thought it knew about development. For years, insiders whispered about her unusual methods. Now, the secret is out. Eala wasn't supposed to reach this level. When she first burst onto the WTA circuit, established players dismissed her as another promising prospect destined to plateau. But something different happened. While competitors followed conventional training protocols, endless court drills, repetitive serve practice, standard conditioning, Eala's coaching team operated from a completely different philosophy. Her coach implemented a revolutionary framework that nobody outside the inner circle understood. Training sessions looked unconventional to outsiders. Instead of maximizing court time, they minimized unnecessary repetition. Instead of building muscle through traditional strength protocols, they engineered movement patterns through biomechanical precision. The philosophy centered on efficiency over volume. This wasn't accidentally discovered through trial and error. It emerged from years of studying elite performers across multiple sports, not just tennis. Eala's team analyzed everything: how soccer players developed explosive power, how badminton athletes generated shoulder stability, how martial artists mastered body control. They synthesized these insights into something entirely original. The real breakthrough came through psychological architecture. Most training emphasizes physical adaptation. Eala's method prioritized mental resilience alongside technical execution. Every drill served dual purposes: developing skills while building unshakable confidence. This dual-layer approach created competitors who performed best under maximum pressure. Opponents never anticipated this. They faced not just a skilled teenager, but a mentally fortified warrior who thrived in hostile environments. When matches intensified, Eala elevated her performance. When pressure mounted, she discovered another gear. This wasn't coincidence. It was engineered through deliberate training design. But how did they actually do it? Inside the training facility, chaos looked nothing like professional tennis typically appears. Traditional academies feature perfectly manicured courts with repetitive drills. Eala's environment embraced controlled unpredictability. Her coach deliberately created unstable training conditions to build adaptive intelligence. They employed what insiders called environmental layering. Instead of practicing on consistent court surfaces, Eala trained on varying textures. Textured clay one session, slick hard courts the next, grass simulations the following week. This forced her neural system to constantly recalibrate movement patterns. Rather than developing single-solution responses, she built multi-dimensional adaptation capacity. The serve training exemplified this radical approach. While peers executed thousands of identical serves, Eala performed deliberately varied serves, changing target zones, ball speeds, spin applications, recovery footwork sequences. She wasn't drilling muscle memory through repetition. She was developing conscious mastery through strategic variation. Her coach introduced pressure simulation protocols that transcended typical match play practice. Players would perform critical shots while fatigued, emotionally challenged, or facing artificial time constraints. They'd execute crucial serves with modified equipment, uncomfortable stances, or restricted movement patterns. These weren't genuine matches. They were neurological challenges. Recovery methods equally shocked conventional wisdom. Rather than aggressive massage and ice therapy, Eala's team integrated movement-based recovery, dynamic stretching sequences, proprioceptive retraining, deliberate skill practice at reduced intensities. Recovery became an opportunity for continued refinement rather than passive restoration. Nutrition followed individualized biomechanical analysis rather than standardized athlete protocols. Her diet aligned with movement patterns, recovery cycles, and competitive schedule specifics, not generic sports nutrition, precise physiological engineering. Every element served singular purpose, making the impossible inevitable. The technical improvements surprised even professional analysts. Eala's backhand stroke evolved from defensive option into offensive weapon. This transformation wasn't about repeating thousands of technical variations. It emerged from completely reconceptualizing what a backhand could accomplish. Her coach introduced inverse engineering methodology. Rather than teaching the stroke traditionally, grip, stance, rotation, they examined championship-level backhands, identified underlying movement principles, then rebuilt her stroke from foundational biomechanics. She learned why the stroke worked before executing it technically. Her serve game underwent parallel transformation. Serve speed increased naturally without aggressive overloading. Different serve types emerged organically through systematic approach variation. Her first serve consistency climbed to professional elite levels, not through countless repetitions, but through intelligent variation that built genuine mastery. Movement around court demonstrated equally radical improvement. Instead of random court positioning, Eala developed predictive footwork, anticipating opponent patterns, positioning herself 3 steps ahead mentally before physically executing. This came from studying thousands of opponent matches, identifying movement tendencies, then practicing predictive positioning. Her forehand evolved into perhaps her deadliest weapon. The coach abandoned traditional instruction approaches. Instead, they filmed thousands of professional forehands, identified optimal force production patterns, then coached Eala toward that blueprint. She didn't memorize techniques, she discovered her natural path toward championship-level execution. Serve and volley integration surprised everyone. Eala developed transitional movement that seemed contradictory to baseline dominance. Yet her coach engineered seamless transitions between baseline aggression and net control. These weren't separate skills, they were integrated components within unified movement philosophy. Each technical advance felt effortless because it aligned with her natural biomechanics rather than fighting against them. Technical skill without mental resilience equals disappointment. Eala's coach understood this fundamental truth deeply. The training methodology invested equally in psychological development as physical training. Many dismiss mental coaching as secondary. Her team considered it primary architecture. They implemented confidence engineering protocols. Rather than generic sports psychology, they created specific scenarios designed to reinforce winning patterns. Eala faced simulated situations mirroring championship match conditions, hostile crowds, controversial line calls, opposition aggression. She practiced responding not just technically, but mentally composing herself under extreme duress. Mental rehearsal integrated into every training session. Before executing physically demanding tasks, Eala performed detailed visualization, mentally executing perfect shots before physically attempting them. This primed neural pathways, reducing execution tension when genuine pressure arrived. Her brain recognized these situations as previously mastered challenges. Stress inoculation training built psychological immunity against typical competitive pressures. By repeatedly facing and conquering simulated adversity during training, genuine match difficulties felt manageable. Eala developed this extraordinary calm under pressure because she'd practiced crisis management countless times before experiencing actual crises. Her coach implemented systematic failure integration. Rather than protecting Eala from competitive losses, training deliberately incorporated failure simulation. She'd face seemingly impossible situations, experience setbacks, then receive coaching on psychological recovery. This taught her that disappointment wasn't catastrophic, it was manageable feedback requiring adjustment. Emotional regulation received explicit attention. Eala learned identifying emotional states during competition, then executing specific breathing techniques and mental resets, restoring focus. When frustration emerged, she possessed genuine strategies transcending positive thinking cliches. Identity development proved equally crucial.
Rather than defining herself through rankings or titles, Eala developed identity centered on continuous improvement and competitive challenge. This liberated her from destructive perfectionism while maintaining relentless pursuit of excellence. Mental strength became her greatest competitive advantage. When Eala's coach finally revealed these methods publicly, professional tennis reacted with stunned recognition. They'd witnessed her dominance, but never understood its architecture. The revelation explained everything: her unnatural composure under pressure, technical consistency, ability elevating performance in crucial moments. Television commentators immediately reanalyzed her victories, recognizing evidence of these methodologies throughout her matches. They observed her unusual serve variations, her predictive court positioning, her mental composure during critical moments. What seemed like natural talent actually reflected years of deliberate engineering. Other coaches confronted unsettling reality. Their conventional approaches were becoming obsolete. Players developed through repetitive drilling struggled against competitors trained through intelligent variation and psychological architecture. The sport's traditional development model faced legitimacy crisis. Tennis experts weren't just speechless, they were actively revising their understanding of athletic development. Published coaching methodologies suddenly seemed primitive. Players trained conventionally found themselves outmatched by those embracing these revolutionary principles. Academies worldwide began experimenting with environmental variation and psychological engineering. The revelation inspired immediate industry shifts. Professional organizations reconsidered training guidelines. Coaching education programs examined whether traditional methods required fundamental reimagining. Athletes and parents sought Eala's coach's insights, recognizing they'd discovered something genuinely transformative. International federations faced uncomfortable questions about competitive fairness. If advanced coaching methods created such substantial advantages, did conventional training become inadequate? Should organizations standardize coaching protocols? The debate intensified rapidly. Eala herself became a living proof that fundamental rethinking creates breakthrough results. She represented possibility, elite performance achievable through intelligent methodology rather than genetic predetermination. This democratized excellence, suggesting any dedicated athlete with access to advanced coaching could achieve championship-level performance. The sport would never view athletic development identically again. Eala's coach transformed not just one athlete, but potentially an entire sport. The secret training method they revealed represents something athletes everywhere desperately seek: a systematic pathway to excellence. If you want to understand championship-level performance, subscribe for more deep-dive explorations into what separates champions from competitors. Don't miss upcoming breakdowns of elite athlete methodologies, coaching psychology, and competitive excellence principles that apply beyond tennis. The secret is no longer secret. Excellence awaits those willing to train intelligently. Subscribe now. Excellence awaits.